A partly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Once again, another warm one, 80 degrees out there. 78 here at Radio Center, 79 in downtown Bay City. It is 80 degrees in downtown Midland. Big difference between what it has been and what it is right now is the wind. We do have a northeast breeze at about 8 miles per hour. Humidity, though, is still right up there, but it is kind of nice to get a little bit of that water feel to it, fresh water off of the bay and off of Lake Huron, and that's what we're getting right now with that northeast breeze. Steady barometer at 30.17. My guess is it's going to continue to rise just a little bit here as we look at a warm front. It's going to be working its way up through the state, maybe not so much early today, but a little bit later on this afternoon. We're going to see that front, which is, it's down in Indiana and Ohio right now. It's going to start to move up. By tonight, it'll be along the I-94 corridor. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, that warm front is going to be moving up through the lower peninsula. Low pressure system causing all of that. He's going to be moving into northwestern Wisconsin within the next 24 hours, then eventually up into Canada. So all this activity that we have seen over the past several days, one low pressure system right after another, is moving up through the upper peninsula and then up into Canada and dragging these fronts along with them. And the further north they get away from the lakes, more so the frontal systems begin to lose a lot of their intensity. Some will argue that wasn't the case the other night, but in fact it was, because as that system moved on shore a couple of days ago, later in the afternoon, it was packing winds of 75 and 80 miles per hour as it moved on shore in the Grand Rapids area, Muskegon, all the way down into St. Joe, Saugatuck. And the power outages were just unbelievable out in that part of the state due to those strong winds. By the time it finally hit here, we were looking at wind speeds 45 to 55 miles per hour, which again is pretty windy, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I said what it had been a little bit further to the west earlier in the day. What are we looking at? We're looking at a few clouds around, partly cloudy skies tonight. Once again, there is going to be a spotty shower here and there. After a high of about 85, 86 degrees along the Great Lakes Bay region, which makes us closer to the water. So that northeast breeze is going to keep our temperatures down a little bit. You move inland further into the central part of the state along the 127 corridor, we're going to be looking once again at 90 degrees there. 68 for a low tonight, 85 tomorrow, 72 for a low tomorrow night. Spotty shower activity is going to be increasing in coverage later on tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night as that front will be lifting up through the state. And then once we move into Saturday, hazy sun, clouds, scattered shower activity, low pressure through western parts of the upper peninsula up into Canada. So I think the best chance of any precipitation over the weekend is going to be on Saturday as that low moves to the west and east and northwest of us. 91 for a high on Saturday, Sunday, 92. But I'm going to take some of the shower probability out of that forecast for Sunday. I don't think we're going to have as good a chance on Sunday as what we will on Saturday. And Saturday is looking spottier as we go through the hours for that short-term forecast. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a lot closer to average, but still above. Mid-80s on Monday, 80 degrees Tuesday and Wednesday. All the way through that period, it looks like dry conditions. So if you feel you need some moisture, you better hope over the next few days that we get some, because once we roll through Saturday night and into early Sunday, the chances of precipitation are going to drop off rather dramatically. Record high in this state is 95, set back in 1948, the record low 43, 1904, tied in 1946. And a year ago today, 85 was our high, 64 was our low. And we picked up 1 inch and 2/3 of rain at MBS International Airport a year ago today. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Gary Kaufman will be joining us in just a moment from Star of the West to clue us in as to what's going on with those markets. But before we get to all of that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrient Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. It's all about risk management. It's all about taking advantages of the good things and protecting yourself from the bad. That's where the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency comes in. They are licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. And the agents can be reached directly on their cell for questions or emergencies. Office number in Reese, 989-868-4722. That's the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Gary Kaufman from Star of the West joining us this morning. Gary, any good news on the markets today? You know, yesterday wasn't really all that bad.
No, yesterday, the wheat was a leader down, but the corn and beans finished on the positive, and actually the wheat's the leader up today, where corn and beans are on the downswing. So we're just kind of reversing what we've seen yesterday a little bit, Terry. Currently, we got cash wheat, let's call it up 9 right now. That puts the cash white at 685 and the cash red at 650. New crop for next year up a nickel, Terry, at 713 on the white, 653 on the red. Cash corn down a penny, 611. New crop down a penny, 501. Cash soybeans currently down a dime at 1278, and new crop also down a dime at 1263, Terry.
Just giving a little bit up here, gaining a little bit there. At least we're holding on these prices for right now. We don't need any more of these big downs, do we?
No. And putting a little pressure on the beans today is, there's still saying there's some beneficial rains going on in the northern plains, and also in the Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. Should be adding bushels to the soybean crop with some moisture there as well. And corn probably wouldn't help corn much, but, weather's still a factor for beans. And, wheat yesterday, we kind of firmed back up after we held some good support levels. So now we're back on the higher swing on the wheat. And who knows, that could be a bullish omen. We don't know. But, as we know in the world, Terry, concerns continue over the harvested French wheat. There's just a lot of moisture there with a lot of quality issues, and you're seeing, some of the Volga Valley in Russia remains too hot and dry. So you look at some of their spring wheat there, and it's just kind of ugly. And world demand on wheat is pretty substantial right now, so that could keep the wheat market somewhat firm here moving forward. So we'll look forward to that. So,
all righty, yeah. Gary, you take care. Have a great day. Okay.
I will. You do the same. Thank you.
You betcha. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer now. The market report brought to you by the folks at Hudson Inc., formerly Bader & Sons Company and D&G Equipment, offering John Deere agriculture, lawn and garden, and construction equipment. Look for Hudson at an event near you. For more information on them, just go to HudsonInc.com or call the store near you. And by the folks at Foster Blue Water Oil, they've got a product called Diesel Guard Supreme Plus from Valve Tech Petroleum. It's going to make your worries about that diesel engine a whole lot less, simply because it works. It does take care of that engine. It does become more efficient, and you do get improved fuel economy with it. So contact Foster Blue Water Oil today or go to fosterbluewateroil.com. Doug Klein, what have we got right now?
No, maybe the speculators in oil ran out of steam, maybe, because it's down about 1% today, so that's helpful. Of course, the Fed is meeting, and Bullard and one of the other guys was talking about tapering, possibly in October. So we'll see if they start to drain the oxygen out of the casino at that time, but yeah, we're all good for now. Here's your numbers. The September corn is 5.52, up 3/4 of a penny. The December corn is 5.50 1/2, down 1 1/4. September soybeans 13.56, up 10 cents. November soybeans 13.24 3/4, down 8 cents. September wheat is 7.21 1/2, up 10 1/4, and the December wheat is 7.35 3/4, also up 10 1/4. The crude oil is 67.58, down 80 cents. Heating oil is 209.38, down 2.5 cents. Gasoline 225.43, that's down 4.7 cents. And natural gas is 415 1/2. It's actually up 23 cents. So that's a pretty tight market, and they jumped on that one pretty heavy, up 5.5%. Canadian dollar, US dollar gets you 126.44 at the border. That's up 60 ticks. The yen is at 110.06, up 7 ticks. The euro is at 117.60, down 10 ticks. The dollar's at 92.97, that's up 15 ticks. Gold's at 17.90.80, up $2.60. Silver's at 23.59, down 18.5 cents. Platinum's at 975.60, and it's down $17.90.
All righty, Doug. Have a good one, okay?
Yep, thanks. You too.
You bet. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. While we have a chance, we're going to slide down to the campus, Michigan State University. Along with me right now is Mark Seaman with the Michigan Soybean Group. Mark, what's going on down at the campus area today?
Well, it's a nice busy day down here at MSU, Terry. We've got the Soybean Research Field Day going on at the MSU Pathology Farm, where we're highlighting several different types of research projects that just out of good fortune are on the same farm this year. So we're able to do a tour with some wagons and a bunch of growers and agribusiness people looking at highlights of these trials.
One thing that seems to really be jumping out this year has been the disease situation with the soybeans. Soybeans really started off looking great. How do they look to you right now, not only just there, but around other parts of the area that you cover?
Yeah, really good point, Terry. We had a strong start in getting soybeans planted on time this year, and a good start. In some places it got a little dry, and other places it changed from too dry to too wet overnight, and we had some diseases come in like Phytophthora. And now later in the season, of course, we're seeing some white mold in those fields that of course, were most promising and having the most growth in them. Also, some fields are showing some signs of sudden death syndrome, as we see in the late season here. So lots of things to look for. And just a reminder that there's always things that are trying to take a little bit of yield from us. And I think we'll still end up with a good crop, but maybe we've taken off a little bit of that top end potential with some of these pests.
Are we seeing the soys mature a little bit earlier this year, Mark?
Yeah, I think so, Terry, especially in those areas that have turned a little bit dry here in the last 10 days or so. Some of the areas that had some rainfall continue to look maybe a little bit stronger in their color. And those areas that have gotten dry are maybe losing a little bit of color and seeing some of those stressed areas, especially, that are kind of speeding up in maturity and starting to deteriorate a little bit.
Understand you have Christy Sprague along with you right now. Mark, thank you very much. If you could just hand the phone over to Christy, I want to ask her a couple of questions. Christy, good morning. How are you this morning?
Hi, Terry. How are you?
Hey, we're doing fantastic. What are you seeing in the fields so far this year, Christy?
So, as Mark said, it started out pretty dry, so a lot of our pre-emergent herbicides didn't necessarily work that well. So we put a lot of pressure on those post-herbicide applications, and right now we're seeing where some of those weeds are escaping. And what I've been telling growers is the one thing I would do is take a look at your soybean fields, because I know right now we're seeing a lot of water hemp popping through.
That is a major problem right there, the water hemp. How are we addressing the problems that we're having right now with some of these resistant varieties of weeds, Christy?
Yeah, that's really what we're really doing a lot of due diligence and trying to do some research and really getting some help from the Michigan Soybean Committee on some funding to be able to do that research. So we're looking at full programs to try to make sure we get that under control. But the key thing is to know if you got the weed out there, and then really start thinking about how you're going to manage it in the spring. And we've got a lot of tools available, and we've got those recommendations in our weed control guide.
How important is tillage after the soybeans are harvested, Christy?
So for water hemp, it's not entirely that important. We can see water hemp issues both in no-till and conventional till soybeans. So it really, tillage doesn't help out a whole lot. If you were to do a deep tillage like a moldboard plow, you might bury some of that seed, but it's kind of just a one-time thing that you could do, and it would be just right after you found it. But in general, we really got to rely on doing some really good herbicide programs the following year.
And obviously scouting the field and knowing what you're dealing with.
Yes, and one of the things that we also have is MSU Plant and Pest Diagnostics does some resistance screening. For some reason, you do seem to find water hemp in your field and you're interested to know what it is resistant to, you can send those seeds in and they will be able to test that and give you the results before the following year.
Christy Spriggs, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day. I know you've had a busy schedule all summer long and there's no rest for the weary, right?
Thanks, Carrie.
You bet. You guys
do a good job.
You guys take care. All righty. Christy Sprague and Mark Seaman down at the campus. Jerry Samolsky will be joining us right after this. Do you have a yield monitor in your combine? Do you print off a pretty picture every year, but you don't know what to do with it? Why don't you have PC Ag Solutions analyze your data to help you make profitable decisions for the upcoming season? We can help you analyze your data from your planter, sprayer, or combine and compare it to your soil types and nutrient availability. Anything from the planting date to your speed, population, and variety to elevation, drainage, and in-season applications. We can help you make the most profitable decision on your farm. Call us today, 989-868-4444. Farm Service brought to you by the folks at Steiner Tractor Parts. New parts for old tractors. That's what it's all about. That's what they do. And they do a great job. 800-234-3280 or go to steinertractor.com because they realize that, you know, you might want that tractor to do a job for you, or you just might want to show it off. Steiner Tractor will help you both ways. Again, that number, 800-234-3280. Jerry Samolsky, the plant of the week, other than water it good, what is it?
I'll get to that in a minute, Terry. I just want to mention Christy was actually right. We talked about pre-emergence not working well. Well, that's what our crabgrass control is. So the farmers had the same problems that the urban agriculture did in our turf. So same kind of thing going. But plant of the week this week is rose mallow. Rose mallow is in a hibiscus family. It's a perennial. Now, this perennial is going to come up late in the season. You're going to swear it's dead and not coming after you cut it flush in the ground for the winter. And it will grow. Right now, the rose mallow are 3 to 4 feet tall, and the flowers are big as dinner plates. They're probably 6, 8, 10 inches across, some of them. And they range from white to red. The foliage can be bronze, burgundy, or just a nice green. So they have a whole array of different colors, leaf color, but when they bloom, they're just amazing. Those big, large hibiscus dinner plate sized flowers are amazing. They'll brighten up anybody's garden.
And you've got a few of them there, right? You got a few of them at the, yeah, great.
Yes, sir.
So how do we get to the nursery to pick up a couple of them?
You can find us out in Hampton Township in Essexville, just east of Bay City, and you can look us up on our website at baylandscaping.net or see us out here from 9 to 2, Monday through Friday, 9 to 2 on Saturday, 8 to 5 on weekdays.
All right. Have a good one. Talk to you later, Jerry.
Stay cool.
I will.
For 33 years, the Bader family has been proud to be your local John Deere dealer. Starting in central Michigan and growing to 10 stores from southeast Michigan to the bridge, we are happy to announce the transition to another great organization. Going forward, Hudson Inc. will continue to provide the John Deere experience you can rely on for parts, service, and sales. The Bader family thanks you for all your business and wishes Hudson Inc. the very best.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Well, we've been talking about weeds and all that stuff. One guy that's not in the weeds, he knows what's going on. Steve Anderson over at Baird & Company. Steve, what's going on in New York right now?
Well, right now the markets are modestly lower, just reacting to some of the news of the day. Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 64 points, putting it at 35,339, volume 271 million shares. The NASDAQ's down 39, putting it at 15,002 on volume of 322 million shares, and that's about it.
A lot of this stuff, political in nature, uncertainty overseas, that's not helping us right now, is it?
Correct. Those are all the things that have the markets moderately jittery.
Yep, I guess so. Steve, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you very much. I will. You too.
Steve Anderson over at Baird & Company. Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at the Frankenmuth Credit Union. Hey, find out why they have become the hometown financial solution for thousands of people by going to frankenmuthcu.org and by quality roasting of Reese, purchasing local soys, processing local beans, and marketing local Exceller meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. Quality roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. Ambulances bring the wounded to a hospital in Afghanistan's capital after a suicide bomb attack at a gate outside the Kabul airport. There was a separate explosion at a hotel nearby. CBS's Cammie McCormick begins our team coverage.
The Pentagon is confirming it was a complex attack that left U.S. military and Afghan civilian casualties. There's no confirmation yet on the number of dead and injured. The NATO Secretary General says it was a twin suicide bombing bombing, and a U.S. official says it is believed to have been carried out by Islamic State.
I'm Stephen Portnoy at the White House, where the president has been monitoring developments, huddling in the Situation Room with the Secretaries of State and Defense. The Kabul airport attack has threatened to upend Mr. Biden's schedule for the day. The new Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett is in town to meet with the president for the first time. That meeting has for the moment been delayed as the White House continues to gather more information on the situation in Kabul.
Well, CBS's Charlie D'Agata says officials had been warning some kind of attack plan was in the works.
Intelligence was solid on this. It came from the United Kingdom and Australia. A UK minister actually said this event is going to happen within a matter of hours. So they could see this coming, which is why that blanket warning went up.
Events have apparently not stopped operations today at the airport in Kabul. CBS's Adrian Bard reports there's pushback from Mexico after the U.S. Supreme Court ruling that reinstates a Trump policy forcing migrants to wait in that country while their cases are being handled.
This time around, Mexico is not committing to allow migrants who aren't Mexican citizens to be brought back and held on the Mexican side as they wait for asylum trials in the U.S. But Mexico said it will initiate dialogue with the Biden administration on the implications of the Supreme Court's decision earlier this week, which ordered Remain in Mexico to be reinstated.
Republican lawmakers in Texas are poised to advance a bill that Democrats say would limit people's ability to vote. CBS's Maria Villarreal is in Austin.
Opponents of the bill say the new restrictions would keep people from disabilities, would hurt people with disabilities and people in Black and brown communities that live here in Texas. They point, for example, to drive-through voting and overnight voting. Both will be removed if this bill passes, and both were predominantly used by voters of color. Right now, Democrats, though, are still hopeful that they will be able to attach amendments to the bill before it passes here at the Capitol.
The government says claims for jobless benefits were up last week for the first time in 5 weeks, 353,000. Wall Street, right now, the Dow is down 45 points. This is CBS News.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance yours, Rocket Mortgage can help you get there. For home loan solutions that fit your life, Rocket can.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 80 degrees at 12:03. Good afternoon. I'm Ann Williams. With temperatures expected to be near 90 for the next few days and the heat index to be over 100, Michigan State Police Emergency Management and Homeland Security recommends you take precautions.
Just make sure that you're really staying hydrated. If you're thirsty,